If you haven't already heard the news, James Corden, famous late-night talk show host, celebrity, just got banned from one of the biggest restaurants in New York City. We're going to take a look at exactly what happened, plus stick around. I've got two major takeaways from this. This is my reaction. Okay, so let's take a look at this article from BuzzFeed. So Keith McNally is the owner of Balthazar restaurant in New York City. He's also the owner of a previous restaurant called Cafe Luxembourg, and he went off on James Corden on Instagram just a day ago. James Corden, you can see right there, it says, James Corden is a hugely gifted comedian, but a tiny cretin of a man and the most abusive customer to my Balthazar servers since the restaurant opened 25 years ago. I don't often 86 a customer, but today I 86'd James Corden. And he also cites two very specific examples. Keith wrote, in June, James Corden was here on table 61. After eating his main course, Corden showed the hair to Balthazar manager G. I don't know if that's a nickname or they just don't want their name to be publicized, who was very apologetic. So the manager was extremely apologetic to James Corden. And then, check this out, Corden was extremely nasty to G and said, get us another round of drinks this second. And also take care of all of our drinks so far. This way I write any nasty reviews in Yelp or anything like that, Keith concluded. This is all in his Instagram post. The second incident, James Corden was at Balthazar with his wife on October 9th for a brunch. He asked for a table outside, and they took him to table 301. Mr. Corden's wife ordered an egg yolk omelet with whatever that is, something fancy schmancy celebrities eat. A few minutes after they received the food, James called their server and told her that there was a little bit of egg white mixed with the egg yolk. MK informed the floor manager, G, the kitchen remade the dish, but unfortunately sent it with home fries instead of salad. And then here's where it gets crazy. That's when James Corden began yelling like crazy to the server, you can't do your job. You can't do your job. Maybe I should go into the kitchen and cook the omelet myself. Whew. MK was very apologetic, that's the server, and brought G, the manager, over to the table. He returned the dish, and after that, everything was fine. He gave them champagne glasses to smooth it out. G said that Jordan was pleasant but nasty to the server, who was very shaken but professional that she is. She continued to share to finish her shift. So here's my reaction to this. And by the way, as of this recording, James Corden had reportedly apologized to Keith McNally, the manager, the owner. Obviously, this is extremely damaging to James Corden and his brand. And since this came out, there's been a dozen or so, maybe even more, tweets from famous people, famous restaurateurs who have literally backed up and vouched for everything that Keith McNally said and have even confirmed and echoed the same complaints about James Corden and his behavior. So it's not looking good for James Corden. And since this recording, he's apparently apologized profusely. I think the only reason he probably apologizes is because this is damaging his brand to Keith McNally, the owner of Balthazar. And so we'll see what happens and takes place there. But here's my two takeaways. Number one, I've talked about this before. I even have a video where I say if you want to hire somebody, that you think is a really, really good person, something you can't find on a resume, something that you could never detect on any accolades, achievements, degrees, etc., take them to a restaurant and do the interview there. How they treat somebody they have nothing to gain from tells you everything about that person. I used to be a bartender. I used to be a server over 25 years ago, and I have come across celebrities. I even worked at a 5-star hotel on the coast of Southern California. I've experienced a lot of similar incidents like this, as well as amazing human beings. And I think how you treat people that you have nothing to gain from is extremely telling about who you are. And that's why I did that video about the best way to hire somebody and find good people. You got to understand something. We're living in an era now where any molecule of behavior, dissenting behavior, negative behavior, your personality is in Technicolor 4K every single day. Somebody is going to be recording. I know that scares a lot of you. It actually doesn't scare me one bit, because all the things that nasty, atrocious people used to get away with, you're not going to be able to get away with anymore. Don't blame the technology. It's your behavior. You're just being exposed, and all that social media and all that these new technologies do is just accentuate who you truly are. So you have to really understand that we're living in an era where there is not going to be anything that you do that may or may not appear on the internet. And the internet is forever. James Corden's reputation is damaged forever. I don't care how much he apologizes. I don't care what happens. I'm not even a fan of cancel culture. But in this instance, I am so on the side of the server, the manager, and the restaurateur, because that kind of behavior is absolutely uncalled for and unnecessary, and it's just being a bad human being. If I'm the executive of his talk show, if I'm the executive, he does movies, he does commercials, etc. If that name even gets brought up, your reputation stays with you. Your reputation is how it makes people feel about you. And if this kind of stuff is coming out about you, if you're acting atrocious and you're acting abhorrent and belligerent in all these different instances and all these different locations and contexts, it's just not going to bode well for you. Your personal brand is always, always, always under scrutiny. This doesn't mean that you don't, have freedom, that you don't have fun, that you don't let loose, that you don't, be who you truly are. Of course, be authentic, be who you truly are. But also know, if you let your emotions, if you let your anger get the best of you, if you are really a bad human being, it's going to be exposed. People are going to find out. So it's really important that you understand that. It's really, especially if you're running a business, especially if you're a content creator, especially if you're a public figure, we're living in a completely different era right now. And so I can't think of anything James Corden can do. Time heals everything. And yes, we all make mistakes. And of course, he's going to come out probably with some kind of an apology. He already apologized to Keith Mcnally. But I truly believe the damage is done. But I'd like to throw this off to you guys. What do you guys think? Do you guys think the damage is done? Do you think this is not a big deal? Do you think his reputation is tainted forever? I'd love to hear from you. Let me know in the comments, as always, and make sure that you subscribe and follow, because we talk about the creator economy, how you can monetize your skills, creativity, and experience, building your thought leadership, your personal brand. Make sure you subscribe. Let me know. I'd love to hear from you. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.